Shalom, call Loyim La Yahaba Shem Al Shabbat Shem Vachakwadash. Shaking my head, man. It's always the people you start liking too, but this is why it's important to lean on the Lord, man. This is why it's important to trust in the Lord and not trust in man. All right, and I'm saying that because this individual right here,
Yeah, I agree.
this individual right here, the guy on the top, Night Talk. I done did a couple responses to his to some of his videos before. Just started watching recently, but I know where his mindset is at and things of that nature. Unfortunately, I mean, this is a guy in the world. I mean, and I'll still watch him. Like he'll make cool points or whatever the case. Concerning relationships and these quote unquote red pill guys or whatever the case, man. And how thin in the head they are, or yeah, how thin in the head they are. Like they don't have much depth and things of that nature. But I had watched this clip. I'm gonna play it, but I'm gonna just go ahead and just get into it real quick through the spirit.
think a man can absolutely be head over heels in love with a woman and still sleep with other women and it not mean anything to him. Right. And I think all men have the proclivity to want to sleep with other women.
That used to make sense to me because I was an immature, egotistical asshole. I love my girl, but I can go fuck all these other hoes because I love my girl. I don't give a fuck about none of these hoes. I love her. But with that mentality, you're only thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about her and how it's going to make her feel to know that you out here fucking other hoes. So are you head over heels in love with that woman? That's cap.
You see, and what he just said is Western indoctrination, man. Now, the who I perceive him to be Edomite at the bottom of the screen, all right? The guy at the bottom of the screen, what he said is absolutely right, man. All right? You can love, be head over heels, quote unquote, with one woman and still go sleep with other women. What he said is actually not wrong, man. Okay. However, according to the scriptures, we're not our brothers. We are you Israelite brothers. All right. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, the Native American brothers. We are not in the time to be, sleeping around with a whole bunch of different women, man. Okay. And the only way it would make sense for you to have many different other women and things of that nature is if you had the wherewithal and the resources to take care of all of those women that you're sleeping with. Okay. Now the guy at the top screen, Night Talk and things of that nature. Once again, he's going off of what he said, about sleeping around with different women. He said it was an immature mindset. And honestly, no, it's not. It's not. If anything, that's a kingly mindset. Like having an abundance mindset, that's a real thing. That's a good thing. Okay. However, according to the scriptures, we are not in the time to be trying to, pop every shorty, in our field of vision, man. Okay. So both of them actually do have good points. All right. But this is why I want to bring out the scriptures on it. All right. But I'll finish the clip.
I mean, everybody defines love differently, bro, but you definitely don't respect the girl you with. You definitely don't respect her if you're okay with her knowing that you out here fucking other hoes.
Look, and this is further pandering to the women, like, women deserve better and so on and so forth, which there's nothing wrong with thinking like that. All right. However, the man, you got to remember the man comes first in any relationship. Okay. In real love, true love. All right. Let's go ahead and get what real love is. Okay. All right. I believe that's the book of, it's been a while since I've gone into it. Salakia, 1 John chapter 5. I think it was 5 and 3. Yep. This is the book of 1 John chapter 5 verse 3. It says, "For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous." And one of the commandments in the scriptures is be fruitful and multiply. Night Talk. Okay, now I know he's not going, off of the Bible. He's going off of, his own research and development and understanding of the world. Okay, but the ancient Hebrews were polygamous. Okay, it's in our nature to be polygamous, man. All right, but I'm gonna finish the video.
If you're okay with her knowing that you out here fucking other hoes, regardless if she volunteers for it or not, unless she's one of these weirdos, unless she's polygamous, polyamorous, but that's not what we tend to talk about with situations like this.
I agree. I think
all right, so there you go, man. It's more of a westernized, concept, this westernized concept of having a monogamous relationship and not quote unquote cheating on your woman, which there's no such thing. If you can receive it, there's no such thing as a man cheating, all right, on his woman, man. All right, which the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, all right, teaches that, and they teach us that because the scriptures taught them that. There's no such thing as cheating on your woman. You can't cheat on your woman, okay? You can't commit adultery, all right, on your woman, but you can commit adultery with the Most High, okay? You can commit adultery with the Most High, all right? But, according to the ancient law, there's no such thing as a man stepping out on his woman, all right? If a man had enough resources and wherewithal to get another wife or more wives and things of that nature, he would be able to do that according to our ancient customs, man, okay? And just to bring out an example real quick, let me go ahead and get this, all right? Let me see. Going into our forefathers, all right, which this is Jacob, all right. Genesis 30 and 9. I'm gonna just kind of bounce around. It says, Genesis 30 and 9. It says, when Leah saw that she had left bearing, meaning what, she couldn't have children anymore, because what? Out of Leah, all right, out of Leah, Jacob. She bore Jacob, I believe it was 6 sons, man. All right, it says when Leah saw that she had left bearing, meaning she was barren, she couldn't produce any more children, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. Okay, so Leah, all right, Jacob's first wife, Leah, okay, she had a handmaid, she had a concubine for Jacob, and what? She gave her concubine to Jacob, man. All right, because we knew that in the ancient world, all right, the whole concept of be fruitful and multiply was important mainly for the sake of what? Procreation and reproduction and building generation and families, man. All right. Verse 10, Genesis 30 and 10, it says, and Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. Okay, so what? Jacob went into Leah and her concubine, and her handmaid. All right. Not at the same time, of course, because that's against the law. Okay. Genesis 30 and 12, it says, and Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. Okay, so what? Jacob had 2 sons. Jacob had 2 sons. All right, by Leah's handmaid Zilpah. It says, and Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, let me see. Genesis 30 and 19, it says, and Leah conceived again and bare Jacob the 6th son. All right, so Jacob had 6 sons out of Leah. All right. Genesis 31 and 4 says, and Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field and to his flock. Okay. So there you go. And that's really the point, man. That's really the point. All right. But Jacob, all right, our forefather Jacob, and just to, break it down a little more clearer. All right. Jacob Family Tree Bible. All right, just to explain it a little bit better. All right. So in the ancient world, there was nothing wrong with being in a polygamous relationship, because what Esau, the so-called white man, encourages in this puts out in this society that sex is everything, because it is a pleasurable thing. Okay, but what? We were polygamous not for sex. All right, sex was not the sole intention. Sex is important. All right, of course that had to be required. All right, but being in a polygamous relationship is not about sex. It's about family building and security, man. Okay, which actually a lot of sisters are starting to open up more too. All right, they're starting to open up to that more, because there's nothing wrong with it, and that's where we came from. Okay, but what? You got these jealous, envious ass women, okay, who would what? Start getting on their husbands and leaving their husbands or whatever the case, because he quote unquote stepped out, all right, slept with another woman. But it's like, but they don't think. It's just like, you got to remember, all right, shorty, you giving up, you leaving him, you calling yourself leaving him, all right, you're leaving all the resources, okay, that he gave you, you leaving all of that stuff behind, all right. But in a society, that's okay, because Esau's just like, Oh, miss, did he cheat on you? Yada yada yada. All right, well, you'll get your alimony. You know what I'm saying? You'll get this in your divorce settlement. You know, we'll provide you governmental assistance and so on and so forth. And what? You know, divorce is highly encouraged for these women in this wicked ass society, man. Okay, but I'm going back to the point. This is Jacob's family tree. All right. So Jacob had Leah, all right, and Zilpah, Rachel, and Bilhah. All right. And out of them came what? The 12 tribes of Israel, man. Okay. So Jacob had, 4 wives. All right. And, the wife wives, the Israelite wives, all right, was Leah and Rachel, which they were sisters. Okay. Now, if you understand this, when you look at the story of, how Jacob acquired, Leah and Rachel, you would understand that Jacob was actually swindled. He was actually swindled into having both Leah and Rachel because he really wanted Rachel. All right. Rachel was the more loved one. Okay. And Leah wasn't, and things of that nature. But Rachel and Leah's father, Laban, okay, he had swindled Jacob into working for him for a total of 14 years and ended up getting Leah and Rachel. Okay. But what Leah and Rachel, they had handmaids. All right. Which Jacob went into them as well. Okay. So lo and behold, you got the 12 tribes of Israel, all right, that came out of who? Jacob. All right, by reason of what? His four wives, man. Okay, let me get this as well. I have brought it on another video. All right. So being polygamous is a part of our customs. Like, it's okay. All right. Let me see. Genesis 1:28. It says, in Alahayim, well, I'll just read it verbatim. It says, and God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Okay, so this is the Lord, all right, talking to Adam and Eve. Okay, he was telling them to be fruitful and multiply. Okay, and that's exactly what they did. And this may be a mystery to you, but there was actually more people on the earth, all right, outside of Adam and Eve. But Adam and Eve is where the generations of the sons of God, became. But Lord's willing, that's a video for another day. Okay. But they did be fruitful and multiply, man, because out of Adam came many nations. All right. And the line of Israel goes through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because starting with Abraham, that's when what? The covenant between, the sons of God and the Most High was being established through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay. And just to further prove that, polygamy or polygyny is in our customs. All right. Let me get this. All right. This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. All right. On page 170. All right, toward the top, this is the definition of the word family. It says the concept of the family in the Bible differs from the modern institution. Okay, so what? There's an ancient marriage and there's a modern day marriage, right? And what is modern day marriage? Going down to the damn courthouse, all right, signing some papers, okay, and getting on one knee, giving a woman a ring, and so on and so forth. That's not marriage according to the Bible. But reading on. It says the Hebrew family was larger than families today, including the father of the household, his parents if living, his wife or wives, and children, his daughters and sons-in-law, slaves, guests, and foreigners under his protection. Marriage was arranged by the father of the groom and the family of the bride, for whom a dowry or purchase money was paid to her father. Polygamy and concubinage were practiced, though not favored by God, which that's a lie. All right, Esau put that in there, all right, as a stumbling block. The so-called white man put that in there as a stumbling block. All right, polygamy was favored by the Most High. It was, it was favored by the Most High. It was favored by God, or else it wouldn't exist. It says the husband could divorce the wife, but she could not divorce him. Yeah, and this is true. But in America, in Western civilization, all right, a woman can divorce a man. Okay, and if she was making less than him, which, typically and commonly happens, okay, she would take, half or more than half of his wherewithal, man, his resources. It says the father of a family had the power of life and death over his children. To dishonor a parent was punishable by death. Let me see. I'll keep reading. It says to dishonor a parent was punishable by death. Then, of course, Exodus 21 and 15 and 17. It says the New Testament concept followed that of the Old Testament. Yeah, exactly. So what? The New Testament and the Old Testament is synonymous. All right, both of them work together. It says parents and children, husbands and wives, masters and slaves would enjoin to live together in harmony and love. Then, of course, Ephesians 5:22 and Ephesians 6 and 9. All right, but that's the point on that. All right, I wanted to bring this out too because I looked up on Google. It says were the ancient Hebrews polygamous, right? And here's what Google said. It says early church period. Jewish polygamy clashed with Roman monogamy at the time of the early church. When the Christian church came into being, polygamy was still practiced by the Jews, all right, which we're not Jewish. We're not Jewish. All right, we're the actual Jews. Okay, we're the Israelites, I should say, because Jew comes from Judah, all right, which is just one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, but what we're Israelites, man. Okay, but they do refer to us as Jews. Okay, it says Jewish polygamy clashed with Roman monogamy at the time of the early church. All right, why? Because monogamy was not a thing in the ancient world, man. All right, if anybody was monogamous, it would be the, if I'm not mistaken, the Levitical priests. All right. The Levitical priests were monogamous because what? They had a duty, all right, to accept offerings, all right, from the rest of the children of Israel, all right, to give to the Most High. So they didn't have too much time to, have multiple wives and family building and so on and so forth. Okay, so if anybody in the ancient world was polygamous, it would have been the Levitical priests. Okay, but there were no laws on monogamy. There were no laws, saying that we had to practice monogamy and, what? Every man had to have one wife and things of that nature, all right? If I'm not mistaken, and it's more now, but what? Women outnumber men like 7-1, all right? And it's a lot more now because what you got a lot of in modern society, all right, today's world, okay? It's a lot more than that now because what you got a lot of men who are part of the alpha male community. You got a lot more men dying or committing suicide. Okay, you got a lot of men locked out and so on and so forth. Okay, so women outnumber men by a lot. All right. Now, when you go into people also ask, you got the ancient Hebrews practice polygamy. When did Hebrews become monogamous? And I jump down to, did Hebrews believe in monogamy, right? It says, as a polygynous society, the Israelites did not have any laws which imposed monogamy on men. All right, because what? That's actually a form of harassment. Okay, the scriptures say, be fruitful and multiply. You can't multiply with one woman. All right, which we go over at camp, all the time. Different brothers go over it all the time. But what? That's whatchamacallit, having monogamy enforced on us, that's a form of harassment, man. All right, that's not us multiplying because you can't multiply with one woman. All right, a woman can only bear, really just one child at a time. But you got certain cases to where what, woman could, bear twins or triplets and so on and so forth. But those are very rare cases. But typically, a woman only bears one child at a time. And then what? You can't have sex with a woman on her period. All right, and after what? And after whatchamacallit, because there's a law. You after a woman bore a man child or a woman child and things of that nature, you would have to wait a certain amount of weeks, all right, days or weeks before you have sex with her again. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that. Just in case you think I'm full of shit. Let me see, what was it at? Man child. Let me see it. Salaki, just bear with me. It might actually be in Leviticus. Let me see. All right, here we go. Leviticus 12:2, it says, Barakatih Habashim Masha. Leviticus 12:2, it says, speaking to the children of Israel, saying, if a woman have conceived seed and born a man child, if a woman have conceived seed and born a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. Okay, so what? A woman had to be unclean. She was declared unclean 7 days. Okay, so you cannot touch that woman, all right? If you're a man going into, your wife, you cannot touch her for 7 days after she bore a man child, right? It says, then she shall be unclean 7 days. According to the days of the separation, for her infirmity, she shall be unclean. And in the 8th day of the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. All right, and that's basically talking about, you circumcising your child on the 8th day of its birth, all right, of your child's birth, okay? Verse 4 says, and she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 30 days. Okay, so look, there's more purification. All right. It says she shall touch no hollow thing, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. But if she bear a maid child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation, and she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days. So there you go, man. So there's a process to things, man. Okay, imagine waiting that long to touch your woman. You're one woman. Okay, but which is what we have been forced to do on this side in this life. Okay, so what we had, so what, man? We have laws dealing with things like, monogamy and, a woman being on her period and, a woman being unclean after she conceives, after she bears children. Okay. Let me see. Well, yeah, that's the point. That's the point on that. And then it goes into the purification process and things of that nature. Okay, so what Night Talk was going into, all right, he's basically going off of Western philosophy, Western dogma. Okay, and then on Google it talks about how Israelites, let me see. Yeah, Jewish polygamy clash with Roman monogamy. All right, because that's actually where the concept of monogamy came from. Those damn Romans, man. All right, those Edomites. All right, those damn red people. Okay, just to prove that, let me see. I got an article. Right? This is on field.co. All right. I'm not going to read the whole thing, of course. All right. It says monogamy as a policy. It says socially imposed monogamy was first established in ancient Greece and Rome. Even if sexual infidelity with concubines and slaves was largely tolerated. Okay, so what? This is hypocrisy, man. All right. You quote unquote monogamous, but you still, sleep around with slaves and concubines. That doesn't make any sense. If you so, quote unquote monogamous, all right. It says one of the plausible reasons, as explained by R.D. Alexander in The Biology of Moral Systems, was that monogamous groups were advantaged militarily over polygynous groups. Imposing monogamy meant that fewer men would leave a group to search for wives elsewhere and would be available to fight in battles and pay taxes. As Christianity emerged in the Roman Empire in the 1st centuries AD, it embraced monogamy and took it further, insisting that two people must reserve their bodies and desires for each other, and marriage, it says marriage becoming an everlasting threesome with God. It was Christianity that spread monogamy throughout the Western world. All right, this is plantation Christianity. All right, because the real Christianity, which is, being a Hebrew Israelite, all right, worshiping Yahweh Shem Yahushai, once again, we did not practice monogamy. That's nowhere in our laws and our customs. It says, and once again, it's not about sex. Yes, sex is involved. Okay? Because in order to what? To reproduce and procreate and things of that nature, you had to go into your wives. You had to. That's the only way, children would be born. Okay? But what? Once again, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, makes it about sex. That's why you got these women throwing hissy fits like, oh, how come men can have many women, but a woman can't have many men? Well, because you're defiling yourself, man. You are defiling yourself. A man can't defile himself with many women. I mean, on this side he can. On this side he can. All right, but what? Once again, even the scriptures say we are not in the time to really be doing that. All right. It says, it was Christianity that spread monogamy throughout the Western world, all right, America, Europe. It says, even as it struggled to fully justify its monolithic order on romance, no biblical passages explicitly prohibit multiple partners or, well, wives. So there you go, man. Because once again, it's not in our custom. So, you know, this Night Talk individual, like I said, I still like him. Like, I still fuck with him. But he was wrong. He was wrong. According to the Bible, he's wrong. Okay? And according to the Bible, the guy at the bottom, he's actually right. You could be, quote unquote, head over heels for a woman or whatever and still sleep with other women. He's not wrong for saying that. You know? That's an abundance mindset. And he, well, I don't know, him in particular, but what? That's a family building mindset. All right, but Akim, we are not in the time to be, trying to sport every shorty that we meet. We're not in that time. Read 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter. Okay? Read 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter, and, ask questions. Okay? We're not in the time to be, sporting every shorty. All right? But that's all I'm saying. It was a cool little clip or whatever. Just, through way the Holy Spirit, through Yahweh Shem Ashai, had to bring up some scriptures on it. So that we know it is being confused. So if anything, this is some type of admonishment, all right, on Night Talk. With that being said, shalom. Oops.